You know those moments when you hear your own voice in an empty room and you instantly feel a bit weird about it. You drop a quiet, "Come on, we've got this," or replay a whole argument to the mirror and then pretend it never happened. Most people assume this means they are lonely or a bit crazy. Psychology says something very different. This is the psychology of people who talk to themselves. So first, let's talk about why your brain even needs a voice on the outside. Talking to yourself is one of the oldest ways the mind organizes chaos. Psychologists call it self-directed speech, which just means using your own voice to guide your thoughts and actions. Saying things out loud slows you down. It gives your brain a clear line to follow instead of a knot of half-formed thoughts. That is why reading instructions, planning your day, or giving yourself a pep talk out loud often makes things feel more manageable, not less. To see where this habit really starts, you have to go back to childhood. Little kids talk to themselves all the time while they play, "This goes here, now we do this." That outer voice trains the inner voice. But if you grew up without steady emotional support, that voice had to do more than just narrate. It had to comfort you too. Maybe no one asked how you really felt, so you asked yourself. Maybe it was safer to whisper feelings to the dark than to say them at the dinner table. Over time. Your self-talk became a kind of attachment style. It turned you into your own safe person when other people did not feel safe or present. As you get older, that old survival habit becomes something more complex. You talk to yourself when you need courage before a hard call, or when you need calming after a rough day. In those moments, your voice is doing emotional regulation. It is helping your nervous system settle so you do not spin out. This links to a concept called metacognition, which is just thinking about your own thinking. You are coaching yourself from the inside. If this already sounds like you, pause for a second and subscribe to Psyche of People so you do not miss the next time we put clear words to patterns you have always felt but never fully understood. But there is a flip side, and it is important to name it. The same voice that once protected you can also become harsh. If you grew up with a lot of criticism, your self-talk may copy that tone. Now the inside voice is not saying, "You'll be okay." It is saying, "You always mess things up." That is not personality. That is learned self-criticism. It often leads to something called learned helplessness, where you stop even trying because you expect yourself to fail. And yes, there are rare times when talking to yourself out loud is a warning sign, especially if the speech is random, confusing, or full of voices that do not feel like you. In that case, reaching out to a mental health professional is not a weakness, it is protection. So maybe you are not weird for talking to yourself. Your voice has carried you through moments no one else ever saw. Now you get to decide whether that voice will stay as a critic or grow into a coach. If this helped you see your self-talk in a new way, you are exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe to Psyche of People and keep exploring the psychology of people who do things differently.